literally just got home 20 minutes ago. Delco Steve texted me and said, "We're still doing 9 o'clock?" And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't realize it was 8:40. I had to run downstairs and create the showroom so he could hop in, but I'm here. I was doing it was with the Bet Parks people. We were doing Bet Parks Summer Olympics. They'll have the video and the pictures out at some point. But I was with Maniac Malloy, who was on the show a couple weeks ago. Dumph. Everybody knows who he is, right? The big tattooed guy. He's certainly more famous than I am. And then Sam Stafford, Malik Joe, Mark Feldman. It was awesome. It was good. So, yes, I just made it home in time because there's literally, as Delco Steve joins us here, there's literally, Phillies don't play tonight. They had a day game yesterday, so there's really nothing. They won 2 or 3 against the Padres, so there's really nothing other than the Cole Hamels thing, which we'll talk about coming up here in a second. But there's really not a lot going on right now.
Dead sports day.
And I'm kind of okay with it, Steve. I'm kind of okay with
it. It's a bit odd for, like, right now. It's like no hockey. Like, for me, no hockey. Soccer's on during the day, so, like, that's done already. Baseball on all day. They didn't get to pay attention to nothing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That actually kind of feels good because it got hot early this year, so it does feel like already the dog days of summer. Because it's so hot. Yeah.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Not enjoying it.
Yeah, my poor backyard, my lawn is already dead. It wasn't raining weeks. You
gotta water it.
We gotta look. Dude, I don't have sprinklers in my lawn. I'm not watering my lawn.
It's set the kids up in the freaking lawn instead of the driveway when you're doing your nonsense.
When we do it, yeah, but you can't do that at the water tables. That doesn't. I don't want to be on the lawn. They'll get itchy and shit. No, you just need to stay there. But the sprinklers, I'll put the sprinklers. I'll go get the bigger hose and then I'll put it out to where it's the grass is the deadest. Because in my backyard, I have a pretty big backyard. The middle of it is essentially just dead because the soil's not dense. So when it doesn't rain for a week, it usually gets like this in July, and I don't really need to cut it. I didn't cut my grass for 15 days last. So it is, and I'm fine. I love the heat. I wish it would rain a little bit more, but I love it. I love it, man.
I'm definitely not a heat guy. This week's killing me. I can't wait till next Friday when it's 83.
What do you mean? All right, would you rather have 30 degrees or 90 degrees?
30.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I can obviously do more like in 90, and it's like, yeah, go to the beach and stuff like that. Like, I enjoy, like, I get to do things I enjoy more when it's 90. But if you're talking about just like walking around or like working in it, give me 30.
Yeah, I can understand if you work in the elements or you're working in houses and things like that aren't necessarily air conditioned, or you're going out back and forth from the truck and everything else.
Yeah. I mean, but if you're giving me like 90 humid or 30 freeze, the
weather's been, it hasn't been that humid.
It hasn't been that hot.
The humidity hasn't been
bad at all.
It's been hot, but it hasn't been that hot.
My point was like that. It's like if it's 90 and humid or 30, I'm taking the 30. But if it's 30 and feels like it's 10 and it's not humid and 90, I'll take that all day, every day.
Listen, man, this may be as far as having a lot of time off and not working. The last time I was as tan as I will be in a few weeks was when I was finishing up college and I was only working part-time at 9:50 a.m. And I had Monday, Wednesday, and Friday was a couple of the days I didn't have anything until the afternoon. So I would just sit out on my deck, and I was living with my parents at the time. I'd sit out on the deck in the morning and just soak up the sun. I love sitting in the sun. Sunscreen on, of course, but I love sitting in the sun. So, hey, man, I'm going to the pool. I'll be at a pool party on Saturday.
There you go.
I'll be at the pool on Sunday. So bring on the heat. Bring on the sun.
It'll be a perfect weekend for that.
Yeah, man. I mean, look at the iPhone forecast. It's a perfect. See, here's the problem with the pool, and I can't argue with my wife about it because it would be difficult. She doesn't want me going with the 3 kids during the week. So Gianna and Lena, right now, we're doing swim camp. They don't know how to swim. They can go in the shallow water.
I got you.
They can go in the shallow water and they're fine, but they can't swim. So if they were in the deep end, and then I have a 3-year-old, a soon to be 3-year-old.
Try to keep an eye on all 3 kids at the same time and make
Right.
sure they're not drowning in the pool.
Right. And the 3-year-old is a major pain in my ass, and it has to be occupied at all times, and it's just a pain. So I would go over every day and just go in the water. But so I gotta go pick up her mom or something next week and bring her up so we can go to the pool, because it'd be nice to just go chill at the pool in the afternoon. Anyway, all the people out there that have jobs, unlike me.
You peasants.
So Mike D asked the question of, is there no lifeguard? So Mike D, it is, yes, there are lifeguards, and I'm sure that it would be fine. But trying to tell my wife that my children that don't know how to swim, and then a 3-year-old, I'm fine watching all 3 of them. Like, it's not, I'm not even going to try to do it. I'm totally fine with her having anxiety about that. So we won't do it. Maybe after the swim lessons, when she gets a little bit more comfortable with them swimming, we'll do it. But anyway, so I wanted to start with this tonight, because I hadn't heard about this guy. Hold on, I gotta pull it up. So this dude, I don't even know his freaking name. That's how little I know about him. Olivier Rioux. So he was. So do you know about the IMG Academy, Delco Steve?
Yes. Wouldn't it be like Rioux, but without the G, like Rioux, like Olivier Rioux?
Yeah, Rioux. Olivier. It's not even Oliver. It's Olivier.
I would. All right, this is. I can't read or spell for shit. I would go with Olivier Rioux.
Cousin Oliver? Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Olivier Rioux is how I would go with it.
Well,
but I could be 1,000% wrong.
At some point, and the time's probably now, you're going to see that. So the story on him, and he's going to Florida. So he's with IMG Academy. IMG Academy is not really a high school. It's more like a prep school. So kids that are even done with high school, they'll go here for a year, whether it's football or, I mean, they're literally like a feeder school, and then they have connections. And whether you're, a lot of kids that go there have wealthy parents, and they're not going there to get a scholarship at Alabama or at one of those schools. They're going there because it's like, all right, Western Kentucky needs an offensive lineman, or needs a running back, or needs a wide receiver. You know what I mean? So like, you'll get guys that are going there. They're Division I players, but they're going there because it's a networking thing where colleges will go there and be like, hey, who do you got? Anyway, so he's a basketball player. So he's 7'5", 2 years ago. The video that we're about to watch right now, he was 7'6".
These highlights are nuts.
He was 7'7" earlier this year. He's now listed at 7'9", as he will go to Florida as a freshman in September or August, whatever. 7'9". That's the tallest basketball player ever. I believe it's the tallest basketball player ever.
So the article I'm reading, it always specifically says in college basketball history. So that just makes me question if there's someone taller in the NBA, but I no freaking clue.
Tallest NBA, because Manute Bol, I believe, was 7'7". Sean Bradley was 7'6". George Murison was just like this. Murison 7'7". Manute Bol, Sean Bradley 7'6". Yao Ming was 7'6".
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure Yao Ming was 7'6".
Wow, and he was skilled.
Yep.
George Murison was just like a big, huge goon. Holy crap! I mean, you look at a picture of him, he would fuck you up.
Isn't the Manute Bol's kid like tallest, like 7'5"?
Is he 7'5"? I'm
gonna look it up.
Anybody ever see he is 7'3"?
Oh darn!
I bet Vince
this dude's a half a foot taller than.
That's unbelievable. But so I'm sure Vince out there in our chat saw this, where it was this TV show that used to be on Comcast, not before Comcast Sports Met. There was Sports Channel, there was Prism, and there was Sports Channel. Sports Channel ended up being Fox Sports, like the regional Fox Sports, which really we didn't have here because of NBC Sports Philadelphia or Comcast Sports Net. Anyway, there was this show called The Lighter Side of Sports, and Mike Golick hosted it. And it was like a couple of different bits they would do in a half hour. So, it's probably 23 minutes of content. So there's three things that Golick's doing or somebody's doing. And the Sixers had this bit where Rick Mahorn and Charles Barkley were playing pranks on the teammates, and they set up in this banquet room, and they were like saying that they were serving them all this food. And Rick Mahorn was underneath the table, and they cut a hole in the table, and he had his head underneath one of those little plates, like the top.
Oh my God, what are they called?
And whatever they're like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Put it over the plate. So then Barkley has Manute Bol, and he's like, yeah, Manute, we got there's some food here. I should pull it up. There's some this, and he pulls up and
Close.
Rick Mahorn, yes, and Rick Mahorn's head's going, duh, and Manute Bol freaked out. It was so funny. I'm gonna have to pull it up. But anyway, so here he is. So let's see here. We have to share it. And what's his name? Cousin Oliver?
I would go Olivier Rioux, but I have no idea.
All right, let's see.
This isn't even fun. He's not over his elbow.
He doesn't even...
Next thing you're going to tell me he shoots like that.
First I heard him, he looks skilled. You know what I mean? He doesn't look like he has elbows for hands.
If that dude can shoot threes, it's not fair.
And this picture, he was only 7'5", so he's grown 4 inches, reportedly. Like at some point, if you're that tall, it's going to be difficult to stop you. Now, obviously, it's a much more physical game when he's playing against non-IMG Academy or whoever he was playing against in that game. But still, we've never seen anything like that. He's not even jumping to dunk the ball. It's unbelievable.
How tall of a rim do you think he can dunk on?
If he jumped 14?
Yeah, that's insane.
So Turtle Power says no threes, and that's really because it's a perimeter game. If he can't come out and guard anybody, he'll never be on the floor. It'll be easy to take him out of games. It's just like, all right, well, I'm just going to put a modern day center, which is really a stretch 4, which is really a 4. Everybody shoots threes. So,
if that dude can get to the 3 line and just put his hand up, no one's making a 3 over him.
Yeah.
Like he's got to be like 9'8", like putting his hand up.
Yeah, what's the wingspan?
It's like, I mean, I don't know. If you're 7'9", you're supposedly 7'9" this way. So it's
a 20-foot wingspan or whatever. Like, yeah. So people said that when the Sixers drafted Sean Bradley, it was interesting because he was that tall, and Manute Bol didn't have any skill. He would shoot threes. That's the one thing he did on offense, was shoot threes. But he was there because he was 7'7" and he blocked shots. Sean Bradley actually had, he was a skilled player. Now, he wasn't as skilled as he needed to be. But, yeah, he was a skilled player. So you draft him and you're like, all right, how good can he be? Later on in his career, he was actually pretty good. With the Sixers, it was just a disaster. Pat Croce told a story back before he owned the Sixers. He was like a trainer for the Sixers, and they sent him over to try to. And I remember this talk the entire offseason where it's like, oh, he's got to put on weight. He's got to put on weight. You got to give him protein shakes. He's got to work out. And blah 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 blah. So Pat Croce went over there to be like, all right, here's what we're gonna do with working out. And he said in his kitchen, he had this big kitchen with this huge island in the middle of it, and it was littered with McDonald's wrappers. There was just like a big bag, like bags of McDonald's that I guess over a couple days, and he was just like eating McDonald's cheeseburgers and stuff, and that looked like his diet. And he said he knew at that point it was going to be tough to really get him going. But yeah, he was a skinny 7'6.5" player who had some skill, but I got to take a look at his numbers.
Do you want some fun facts on this kid?
Yes, please.
He was 6'1" when he was 8 years old.
Oh, come on.
He was 6'11" by the time he was in 6th grade and crossed 7 foot before entering 7th grade, or 7 foot before prior to entering 7th grade. He's the Guinness World Record holder for tallest teenager, which he's had since December of 2020. And he's from Quebec, so I'm going to go with Olivier Rioux as his name.
Oh, I'd say I didn't know that. I know nothing about this. This is the first
I'm
time
just sitting here reading the article, and I'm like, my jaw's dropped. Like, it's insane.
I wonder if there's more videos to it.
His dad's 6'8" and his mom's 6'2".
Really?
Yeah.
That's not so. Like my
Vince, how tall's your wife?
Yeah, Vince is 6'9" in our chat.
Right.
So we have in our neighborhood, my buddy Seamus, he's got to be, he's at least 6'6". You know what I mean? Like if he said he was 6'7", it wouldn't surprise me. But like that's really tall. And then his wife is tall too. So he's got two girls that are a little bit older than my girls, and like naturally they're tall. But still, to go from mom and dad being 6'2" and 6'8" to almost 8 feet, this dude might be 8 feet tall. If he keeps growing like this, he's still growing inches a year.
Like, he was taller than his dad by the time he was like 13. Like, that's insane.
So Vince was 6'1" in 7th grade. His wife is 6'2".
Oh, there we go. You might have the next one.
Oz is 6'9".
Isn't she due this week?
Is that right?
I think Vince's wife is due this week.
Is it this week? Yeah. Yeah, he does have. Yeah, like what would it, when you look at the videos of this dude, there's a one still shot that I read on some website, and the guy's 6'10". So he's standing next to a guy that's 6'10", and he looks like that. He's playing next to a little kid. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable.
It's got to be wild being like 6'7", 6'8", and looking up at people like we look up at people that are 6'7", 6'8".
This guy's good. So is he gonna stink? What do you think?
Flexible.
Oh, sorry, I found the Minute Bowl prank.
Did you?
Before we move on, yeah. So he goes to Florida.
Of course, he went to the Gators. You couldn't have went to the Seminoles. Like,
yeah, I honestly I wonder if there. I don't know enough about him. I don't know how hot of a recruit he was. He, like, with the way that the NILs go these days, maybe he got paid. Maybe he's just like, teams looked at him and were like, what are we going to do with you? You know, we want athletic wing players and but it's intriguing. That's for sure. It looks awesome. All right. Well, all right. So let me
I'll
play
be curious to see.
Yeah. So like what, I mean, I don't know enough about his game. I got to look into him.
Apparently, in some international tournament, he averaged like 4.5 points and 4.5 rebounds.
Yeah, it's kind of what I.
Yeah, FIBA U18, but who knows how much they play and all that.
Oh, they're very competitive because those players, they grew up playing together. Those FIBA players, so that's why like Luka. I think Luka was playing. He was playing really, really young, and
he was a 3-star recruit.
3-star, yeah. See, that sounds about right. He looks like he's a 3-star recruit. You get him on the floor against physical, athletic players, and what does he look like? He looks good against those kids. 2 feet taller than most of them. Jesus, it's unbelievable. No, he really looks like he looks like he's playing. It's like when I play my kids in basketball in the little Tykes basket that I have somewhere down here in the basement. And you know, I'm dunking down on it. That's what he looks like. It's like he looks like he's playing with his little kids. All right, let me get this here, and then we'll. It's a big retirement ceremony tomorrow for Cole Hamels, but here we go. Let's do it. So this is the lighter. It was on the lighter side of sports, I believe, is where I saw it. But anyway,
You got some hot dog here too, man?
Right there. Little rice.
Sog bone with this.
Right there.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for.
They're right there.
What if the nude bull hit his head on the steel as he
Almost killed me. I know. Oh, man.
there you go. But Manu passed away, man. He's gone. And Sean Bradley, he had a bike accident. I think he's paralyzed from the neck down.
Oof.
Yeah, it's rough, man. Tough being that big. We already talked about this. Would you rather be 7 foot or 5'5"?
7 foot. 100%.
Really?
Yeah.
Ugh.
As being only 5'7", 5'8", I'm close enough to 5'5". I know what that life feels like. So like, I'll take 7 foot.
But 7 foot. When you fly, you can't fly. You're uncomfortable.
All
in
right. Well, all right.
cars.
Do I have the same like abilities I have now, but I'm 7 foot?
Like what?
Like, I mean, like whatever. My average athletic ability, but I'm 7 foot.
You can't be,
which makes me more athletic.
No, you'd be a different athletic if you're 7 foot.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, but I'm saying, like,
all right,
like
so
on par.
describe yourself. If you were to pick an athlete, what would the athlete be that would describe your athletic ability? Are you a utility baseball player? Are you a third line checker?
I'm obviously
grinder?
a total scrub because I didn't do anything in life.
No, but give us a relevant Philadelphia sports figure that you would compare yourself to at 5'7".
No one. They're all. I don't compare to anybody. I suck
All right,
compared to
all right.
anybody.
Whatever. What I'm saying is that you're not going to be the same kind of athlete if you're 7 foot. You're going to have Flintstone feet.
But I'm just saying, like, I don't know, like if I have the average ability, like average ability of 5'8", but I'm 7 foot tall, then I might be able to do something with
Right,
it.
but you like going to your gym and you're doing the pull-ups and you're throwing tires and stuff like that. You're not doing that if you're 7 foot.
Okay, I don't want that. Like, I'm just saying,
You're
like,
doing
in
squats.
general. Oh, fuck the squats. If I can fucking dunk a basketball and block someone else that's 6'5", like, come on. Like, be a tall goalie or something to take up the entire net.
I would just rather be 5'5". I just think you're more comfortable. It's more comfortable to sleep. Everything's more comfortable. You don't have a bad back. You live longer, as someone pointed out here. Vince, I'm not telling you that because you're tall that you're a loser or anything like that. All I'm saying is that like, if you're telling me 6'3", yeah, of course I'd like to be 6'3". 6'4", yeah, but you get too big. And then you get on a plane and, you're uncomfortable for 4 hours. You have to buy huge automobiles to be comfortable.
Yeah. I feel like I could bid something if I was 7 foot instead of 5'5".
All right. Well, listen, it's not my answer. It's your answer.
Yeah. And then if I make money off of being 7 foot, then I don't have to worry about all those things. I just, take care of it.
You're not going to be a professional. You're not going to be a professional athlete being 7
You never know.
That's not part of it. You're not a professional athlete now. Being 7 foot doesn't make you rich. It just makes you 7 foot.
You never know. You have more options when you're 7 foot.
Well, listen. You can definitely attract a different kind of woman.
What if you were like a pitcher? You could throw 100 miles an hour because you're 7 foot. Get those long, lanky arms that can just
There's one guy that's done that. That's the exception, not the rule. Randy Johnson's the one guy that's done that.
Or you could hit a golf ball like 1 billion yards because you're 7 foot tall.
Or you could be a okay athletic basketball player that gets totally exposed next to good athletes and good players. Like
that's fine. They make a lot. They make a lot of money too.
Yeah, you beat IMG Academy trying to get a Division II scholarship. All right, so I will actually be in the house, and I'm glad that I am. Tomorrow night I'll be at Citizens Bank Park because it's an Apple TV game, and I don't do the Apple TV.
That stuff's brutal.
Yeah, I just like honestly, I'd just be like, no, you know what? I'm just not going to watch it tonight. Unless, maybe that'll change as we get longer into the season. But Cole Hamels, and let's just set the record straight here. He's retired. Let's say like his retirement night. The Phillies are not retiring his number. Or
He's retiring from baseball.
You're right. Like this is the Phillies. This is the Phillies giving him a celebration, giving him a night, and why not? Diamondbacks are in town. Cole is one of the best pitchers that the team has ever drafted. He's a World Series MVP. I'm looking forward to giving him a standing ovation. Now, I didn't get the tickets because of that. These tickets were available, and my wife just purchased them. I didn't even know it was Cole Hamels' retirement.
Just worked out that way.
It just worked out that way, and it's against the Diamondbacks. And when she's like, "Hey, we can get these tickets," I'm like, "Hell yeah, let's go!" But yeah, so they will retire. He will officially retire as a Philly tomorrow night. And something that happened today. So the Phillies have given out 35 a couple times. Cole Hamels is 35 a couple times, including, I don't even remember the guy's first name. I think his last name was Mercado. Oscar Mercado, maybe? Last year, the year before. He didn't even appear in a game. They just called him up And then they sent him back down because I guess they needed like an extra outfielder or something. I don't remember the scenario, but yeah, so they brought him down and they brought him up. They didn't play him, but they gave him 35. And then it was somebody Ellis last year was 35. I didn't even know this. I don't even know who this guy was. I don't remember him playing at all. But the Phillies have given scrub players the number 35. Now, David Dahl, when he was called up from the minors, he took 35. He's been playing very well. He's actually like the platoon bat that a lot of people were looking for in the Phillies outfield. He has given up the number 35. And I think that he's just going to go with 31. And it's not because he just said that he came out of his own and said that out of respect for Hamels, they're friends. They spent time rehabbing injuries when they were in San Diego together. So, so he's going to wear 31 and he's going to allow 35 to be not worn. So Hamels can,
until they call up the next guy and he wears 35.
Right. And yeah. What's the next scrub they can call up? I remember when B West, when he went to San Francisco and it was still like that situation kind of still bothers me. And I remember talking to Brian about it and he had said that, like, he was willing to come back in a part-time role. And you would think that would be, like, he's an organizational guy. He's a BG, Brandon Graham. Yep. Right? Like, I love the fact that the Eagles have just kept bringing Brandon back and keep bringing him back and keep bringing him back. You need to do that with guys. They're still producing. I'm not telling you if he sucked, but Brian Westbrook was the ultimate competitor, the ultimate professional. So I never liked how that went down. And he wanted to come back. He would have been okay with a part-time role, but they gave his 36 out that very next training camp to some scrub. It always bothered me.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Right? Like, don't you, for really good players, Pro Bowl type players, All-Star type players, I'm not telling you got to not give the number out, but don't just give it out to any. Don't make it available to anybody that comes up. Like, if you sign a free agent who's a big free agent or whatever, like JT took Dutch's number 10 when he came here. And he didn't actually know anything really about it. JT didn't. But still, like that, people are going to have a reaction to that. But, like, JT's a great player, and Dutch hadn't played for however many years. But, yeah, so Cole Hamels is the 35 will not be taken by anybody as he retires as the Philly tomorrow night.
I can't wait till everyone's like, oh, everyone said John Mark said they're retiring Cole Hamels' number tomorrow.
I did. Yep, they are right up in the rafters or wherever they put him. What are your opinions on Cole Hamels there, Delco Steve?
I love Cole Hamels. Yeah. I was a big Hamels fan. Yeah, I think he got a raw shake. He was like always like so good, and he never got run support. Like, imagine what some of his stats would be or win-loss records would be if they actually won these games. That, like he would lose 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. I feel like he always got a raw shake.
So I think a lot of people, and people don't think this anymore, but in 2009 when he came out and he sucked, and he acknowledged that everybody was enjoying that World Series and they weren't the same team the next year, even though they made the World Series. But I guess Cole Hamels wasn't the same player the next year. And if people remember, he said that he just wanted the season to be over with. And people really took it and ran with it. And what he meant was, this is such a bad season. He's pitching so poorly. He just wants it to be over with.
Right.
If Cole Hamels pitches better, they might have won another World Series. They had to get Pedro out of retirement. And Pedro, man, every bullet he had left in that arm, he used. I love Pedro that year. He was awesome.
Pedro's awesome.
Yeah, they were a starter short, and they needed they needed more from Hamels, and he just didn't have it. But I never held that against him, because I always knew, or like I always felt it was just like, all right, if you want to overreact, and see, like this is where I blame the Angelos of the world, because I don't remember specifically if Angelo did this, but just taking what he's saying and like, let's take a step back and think about the context of what he was saying. This dude's had the worst year in his professional career. He's getting lit up and he's getting criticized and everything else after he just won the World Series MVP. And like, really, like we think that he's quit or whatever. Like, no, he's frustrated. He just wants this to be over with. So but and they called him Hollywood Hamels, and he wasn't tough enough, and all this, and blah 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 blah. Well, he bounced back, even though the Phillies didn't win another World Series, but he bounced back and he solidified himself as one of the best starters they've ever drafted. So, yeah, I was always a Hamels fan. How do you think the careers of Aaron Nola and Cole Hamels will be looked back on comparing the two? Not knowing the ending of Nola, but feeling like you kind of know where it's going with Nola.
I feel like it'd be pretty similar,
right?
Like very similar. It's like, all right, like they had the potential to be like amazing, and then on the other end, it's like, oh, they're good, but could they have done better? Sort of. I don't think Nola would be as loved as Ham, or I don't know.
No, I agree with you. I think Nola is going to have the better Phillies career because he's going to do it for longer. And if you look at Cole Hamels' numbers, they're really good. But I mean, how many years has Nola been here? This might be like his 8th or 9th season. Let me see.
Something like that.
Let me see. This is his 10th year as a Philly. I mean, Jesus, man. So he just signed up for a new contract. I mean, I guess they like at some point could trade him, but he's going to pitch here for at least 12 years, right? And let me look at Hamels.
I mean, Hamels had a way more injury history than Nola did.
So Hamels was here for 10 years, and he probably got traded in that 10th year. 3.3 ERA, 114 and 90. Now, like that's
there's probably 20 of those losses are he pitched great.
Right, like they're good numbers, not Cy Young numbers because he wasn't a Cy Young type pitcher.
No, he didn't win.
But in big games, NLCS, really that 2008 run, he was he was
nails.
That's why he won the MVP of the NLCS in the World Series. He was unbelievable. He really was. He just didn't have the he didn't have the high end stuff to do it for an entire season. Yeah, you brought up injury. It's true. All right, Nola's 98 and 74 with a 3.7 ERA. And this is with playing against full-time DHs and everything else. So it's very difficult to compare the two eras. But like honestly, if I was to predict it, I'd say that Aaron Nola probably ends up being the better pitcher. But no one will look at him like that because Hamels won a World Series and had the MVP, and it's hard not to.
And if Nola's on a team that wins a World Series, but he's just a part of it, and he's not the main guy, or the main guy of the pitching staff, obviously wouldn't be behind Wheeler and Suarez at the moment. But it's like if he doesn't win those MVPs, he's never going to come up close to Cole Hamels on that scale.
No. All right, we got somebody that we got saying Nola drafted in 15. He also pitched in 2015. Nate P. So he did. I remember when they drafted him. The whole thing was Ruben Amaro. They needed starting pitching, and Nola was the guy that's like, you can pretty much put him in the rotation right now, and they did. I went up and saw Aaron Nola pitch in Lehigh Valley with I think I was with Pat Egan, formerly of the Fanatic. We went up and we watched him at a start. He was that kind of dominant pitcher. That as far as being a minor league star pitcher and working their way up quickly, Aaron Nola, Cole Hamels, Brett Myers, not as much, but Cole Hamels dominated the minors. Aaron Nola was dominating the minors. And then Andrew Painter before he got hurt. Like when you talk about guys like Mick Abel and he got lit up again, he's getting killed in AAA. These guys have the tools to be great pitchers, but these guys dominated the minors. And Aaron Nola did that. We probably don't appreciate him as much as we should. I know I'm guilty of that. But
I think he was worth every bit of the money he got because the way he eats innings and just goes, like you could count on him every 5 days. He's never hurt. He's going to throw 200 innings. Yep. I think that's worth it in today's day and age of baseball.
No, because look at Taiwan Walker and look at the contracts of some of these guys. Let me look at his Aaron Nola's game logs, and I know he's got lit up a couple times. What do we got here? Where are the innings? All right. So we have 6, 3 2/3. That was the
Boston game.
Yeah. 7, 6, 6, 7, 9, 5 2/3. He went 4, 8, 8, 7 1/3, 6 and 5. So yeah, he just mows through them.
Pretty good.
There you go. All right. What's the other thing that I had right here for you, Delco Steve? The Lakers hired JJ Redick.
Yes, he did. Yes, they did.
So what's like he thought he was getting the job, and then the whole Dan Hurley thing happened, and then Dan Hurley said no, so they pivoted right back to JJ Redick. I like JJ the 76er. I don't like JJ. I don't like him on the broadcast. I think he makes it a bad broadcast.
He doesn't say anything.
No, and honestly, like I'd rather have Doris Burke than Doris Burke and JJ Redick. I like Doris Burke. I don't love Doris Burke. I like Doris Burke, but like the two of them together make it a bad broadcaster. Like that's not good.
Mike Breen is just suffering with that.
Yeah, exactly. Mike Breen and Doris Burke is much better than Mike Breen, Doris Burke, and JJ Redick. It's just unnecessary. But yeah, and so I didn't like him on First Take when he was trying to make Stephen A look stupid. And it's like, listen, I'm not a big Stephen A fan, but that's not your role to come on the show and make him look stupid. Have good debates and everything else, but like and this is something you have to learn when you do sports radio is, especially with that show, they don't believe anything they're really saying most of the time. They're just they're arguing. They're taking it. It's same thing with sports radio. So if I'm going to have to be the asshole and take the negative view, which often I had to do, then you can't beat me over the head and try to make me look stupid, because then the callers call in and try to make them look stupid, and everybody's hitting you up on social media or whatever. And it's like, yo, if you even realize how much I care about what I'm fucking saying right now, so like, stop, like, leave me alone. So when you're working on the air with somebody, you have to make sure that you're realizing this. Like, all right, like I got to protect them from everything. And JJ Redick just went right after Stephen A, which is not the role of anybody on the show. But anyway, fuck JJ Redick. They're not going to win anything anyway.
They absolutely are not. I did see an interesting thing that the Sixers are the third lowest odds for LeBron James.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Oh, I know it's not happening, but
I wish it was.
It was LA, Cleveland, and then the Sixers plus 1,200.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I wish it would happen, but he's not coming to Philadelphia. He's going to be a Laker.
The Paul George rumors are dead, apparently.
I don't think Paul George wants to play here.
They're no longer interested or something like that. That's what I read earlier.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, they're no longer interested. It's like when you ask that girl out and she says no. Like, yeah, I don't really like that girl anymore. Not interested in her. Yep, that's the way it works. All right. So, what would you say, Delco Steve? I've actually had this conversation, not relating it to Bill Belichick, but I had a friend who is like around my age. He's a little bit younger, but he got married early, divorced. I don't even know how long ago now. Maybe like 5 years ago, divorced. And, so like he's right out on the apps because he wasn't, there were no apps when he was dating or married or whatever. So now it's like, this is all I got to do. What would be your, so like say for me, and I'm happily married and I will, but somebody that's like mid to late 40s, what is like, where does it become like, all right, like that's a little bit fucked up. Like that's way too young. And listen, everybody can do what they want to do. You want to go out and have flings and stuff like I'm just saying like when, because Bill Belichick's dating a 24-year-old and he's
72. Oh, he's 73.
Well, maybe he's 72. Maybe
whatever,
he's
doesn't
about
matter.
to turn 73.
He's in his 70s.
And the story goes, if it's true, that he's 72. He met her on a plane. She was a college student. He met her on an airplane.
Like years ago.
Yeah, like a couple years ago. But
yeah.
He's still dating this other chick that went like psycho on him when he said goodbye. So like I don't even know what to say about this, man. Like I would go like if I'm my age right now, and so the reason I'm saying it about my friend, he's like dating these 23-year-olds that, like it's like, oh, it's Friday, what are we doing tonight? Oh, we're going to this place. Oh, we're going to that place. Happy hour over my house, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I'm so far removed from that I would never go back to that. I wouldn't, like, I couldn't. And that's what he was doing.
You couldn't hang for a whole weekend?
Bro, I I would have to have a divorced. Like that's what he should have done is found like a divorced mom that didn't want anything serious to start and just like hang out or whatever. Meanwhile, he's out he's bar hopping and
Hey,
going
if he
these after
can
hours and
handle it,
stuff.
man. He's got it. He's got to do what
Yeah,
he's
what
got
do you
to
think
do.
what do you think he's doing now? Not that anymore. Actually, what is he doing now? He ended up getting a girlfriend and whatever. Anyway, so like what's the age difference? What's the rule? When it
I
comes
thought it was always half plus 7.
So is that what it is? Half plus 7?
That's what I always thought it was.
So
So like I'm 32, so it'd be 16, 23.
So 23. Yeah, you could still pull off 23.
I don't think I ever would date a 23-year-old, but like that would be,
If it was a mature 23-year-old that didn't,
yeah, sure.
that wasn't out like partying everywhere or whatever, like a little bit more grounded.
Yeah, I don't think I could do the 21 college bar hop kind of thing anymore. Like I kind of do like a lot of similar things, but like not on a regular basis anymore.
Yeah, you're just active. You're not. That's not your lifestyle. So because isn't Ms. Delco Steve older than you?
Yes, she is.
Ah, so you normally attracted to older women, or was this just kind of happen?
Just kind of have. I mean, I was just looking for someone in like my age range that has my similar lifestyle.
Well,
So
so
it's
date a
like
23-year-old. There you go. All right. Well, so would you date a hypothetically? Would you date a 45-year-old?
I think 40 would be mine.
All right. So is part of that because you're still potentially looking to settle down and start a family, and a 45-year-old that would kind of eliminate that, or you'd have stepchildren.
Families like that's like whatever happens for me. It's like I'm not dying one way or the other for like kids or no kids, so that's not an issue. It's like if someone said to me like, if Mrs. Douglas Steve was like, oh, I don't want to have kids, I'd be like, okay, like that's fine. If she says she wants to have 10 kids, like that we'll have to figure that out, but that's a whole different story.
Wow, so that conversation hasn't happened yet.
No, just we know what each other's thought processes are, but it's not like it's a make or break thing at this point in time.
All right.
But no, so it's just like I don't know. I feel like 45, like we wouldn't be like she wouldn't have as many similar interests as me. That would be my thought process on it.
Right. No, I mean there's I'm not saying you have to date like an old woman.
No, I understand that, but it's just like I don't know. It's like I feel like I don't know. Lifestyles would be like have to line up.
Bro, but it also it's the thing, and this is what I would worry about the most, right? Liz just turned 40. I'm 47, so I am it's pretty much 7. Our birthdays are close, 7 years. But if you're 20 years older than your wife, when you're 70, she's 50, and that's a big time difference, man. You know what I mean? When you're 70, you're a geezer. I know a lot of people, maybe they age differently, and if you're rich, then you're low. But like you're old, man.
Yes, 70 is definitely old. It's like 70 and 50 aren't the same thing whatsoever.
72
you got a whole life at 50.
20 something.
I don't. Yeah, the thing I saw today about talking about that was to say, like, imagine your daughter brings home Bill Belichick and you're like a Jets fan.
Well, how about your daughter brings home Bill Belichick? Well, and you don't even watch football, and you're like, you're bringing home a 72-year-old?
No, I fully agree with that. That's obviously a terrible situation as is, but you're like, oh yeah, Dad, wait till you meet my boyfriend, and it's like, and Bill Belichick walks in the door, and it's like a dude that's just been kicking your brains in for decades now as a fan. Like that would be like worst case scenario.
And now they've went public with a morning cruise, and she's pretty. She's definitely not an Instagram model or anything like that, right? Like you would think that it's his daughter. Honestly, you'd think it's his daughter.
But what did you think? Like, don't you think it's kind of weird they've stayed in contact for like years?
Yeah,
like,
because he's
like
been plotting.
Friends, like they were friends, like that. Yeah, I don't know.
They've both been plotting this. This isn't like him taking advantage of her. She's probably a nutso.
Oh,
Right, so
I mean, he's got how many millions in the bank? Like 9 figures, 10 or not 10 figures, but you have 8, 9 figures.
all right, so no, I don't want to get it. I'm going to share this. This is the last thing we do. Stop sharing. Yeah, like she's easy on life. Well, I think she was a cheerleader. Is what I believe she was. I did some research on her. I think she was a cheerleader. All right, so there you go. So this was them today or yesterday, recently. So there he is. They're going out. They're probably they're in Nantucket. So there she goes, right there. Yeah, like come on. Yep.
I will say Bill doesn't look like he's 72.
No, he doesn't. He's in good shape. I don't know. I mean, it's gotta be like it's weird. He's got a daughter too, so I mean, it's not like he's a bachelor and he's got no.
Wait,
whatever. I mean,
how old is his daughter?
It got to be older than that, man. He's 72.
I know. That's why I'm curious.
Yeah, like you can't. Come on, man. Let me see.
Well, Amanda is. Why does it not have it? Oh, they got all this other nonsense information.
And she not the most attractive woman in the world. Daughter age. Let's see. She born in 1984. Yeah, so she's 30.
She's 40.
Yeah, she's 40.
Oh my god.
She's 40. She's 16 years older than this chick. Like, yeah, come on, man.
And then wait, I mean, Steve's a coach. Steve's 37.
Yeah. Steve Belichick's 37. He's got 3 kids. They're all in their 30s. See,
Imagine if it was like she was Steve's ex-girlfriend.
Dude, like
And Bill was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, snaked your girl."
So this was reportedly, the ring video of Bill Belichick leaving the.
Yes.
He's disoriented with his shirt off and he's doing like the walk of shame leaving. Apparently this is from her. It could be from her. I just like it's one thing if he's like, "Hey, I'm going to go out and mess around with young women or whatever." This seems like a legitimate, like they were like bonding over philosophy on the plane, and they kept, like you were saying, they kept in touch all these years. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's that's the other thing. Why is he sitting in coach? Like, why is Bill Belichick?
They were in coach?
Apparently.
Really? Well, I mean, sometimes if you need to fly, I can't.
Doesn't this dude just call a private jet like service and be like, "Yo, like, I need to hop on one of these things"?
Think I'm flying coach? Hell no. No. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting, but she had to have come from money. She looks very sophisticated. She was a cheerleader. Where did she go to school? I was looking at her Instagram, and yeah, it was interesting. It was. All right. Well, I mean, listen, wasn't Robert Kraft messing around? I don't even think they did anything.
He was getting a little rub and tug at.
Well, I know he got the washy down in Jupiter, Florida. Yeah.
That's where my grandma lives in Jupiter, Florida. So I've driven past that place.
So the day it happened, I went on Google Maps and I was looking to see what it looked like. And there's an Outback Steakhouse, which is like, so you have the Geesh, and then there's like, store, and then an Outback Steakhouse. Because in an Outback, they get very busy. So where do you stand? A lot of times you're waiting outside. You have the freaking buzzer and you're waiting for it to go off. So in the Google Maps picture, there's people outside of Outback that are like waiting to get in. And then the washi's like, 2 stores over. So yes, it's very much in a shopping center. Same shopping center as an Outback, that washi.
Yeah. So I just found a picture of the plane or that meeting on the plane. Let's see. It is clearly in coach.
Really?
Oh, come on.
Well, there's Bill.
Like, that's Coach.
That's Coach.
And he
Yep.
signed their textbook. Thanks for giving me a course on logic. Safe travels.
Oh my God. Oh, he's such a charmer. Delco Steve. He charmed the pants off of her.
What a dork. Must be nice to be Bill Belichick.
Listen, man. It must be nice to be Bill Belichick. Have all that money. You know, he owns, because in Nantucket there's no land. You know what I mean? You're on this little island. So he ended up buying a bunch of houses that were just like next to each other and making it his big compound.
Oh, okay.
Instead of buying like one big huge house, which really like the inventory is pretty much nothing, he just bought a couple houses. So must be nice. Yeah, must be nice. We got going on this weekend, man.
I'm gonna try and get a round of golf in on Sunday morning if it's not too hot. I got a kid's birthday party Saturday. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I have a pool party on Saturday, and it's involving my daughter's friends or whatever.
The older daughters or the younger daughters?
Older. Yeah, it's my oldest. So she's having some type of a birthday party or something like that, and then.
So is everybody going, or is it just like you and
our family? Yeah. It's not. I don't know how many people are coming over. I don't think it's going to be a huge party, but yeah, it's all of us. So the whole family's going over and swimming and shit.
Nice.
Yeah, which is cool, just because get to go to a pool. And then Sunday, I think we're just going to go to the pool.
Since you have 2 sets of eyeballs on all the kids.
Yeah, she'll come over. We'll have to go over in the afternoon. Then the problem with the pool isn't open till 11.
That's late.
Yeah, kind of like I would like to be there because at 10 o'clock I can go over. I can get 3 hours in, then the baby's got a nap around 1 o'clock. You can push that a little bit. 11 o'clock, it's like, all right, I can get 2 hours in, but is that enough? Do I rather go in the afternoon? I don't know. Less people there in the morning.
Yeah, I feel like 10 would be ideal time.
10 would be perfect. Absolutely perfect. Oh, and I forgot, I'm going to the freaking Phillies game tomorrow night. I keep forgetting about that.
What time is that? 6:40 start?
Oh,
tomorrow?
It's a 6:40, man. Yep.
What time are they doing? Cold before the game then?
Yeah, I think you're supposed to be in your seats early. They said like 6:20 or whatever, but I don't. My wife works from home on Fridays, so my mom will be here. I don't know if she's able to. We can leave at 4, or we can leave at 4:30. If we leave at 4:30, I'll bet you we don't get into the park to see Cole Hamels.
Is it just you and the wife going?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. A little date night?
Yeah, I guess I didn't think of it quite like that. Yes,
date night. Look at you.
Oh yeah. Come home, go right to sleep.
I'm not even going to interject any other activities that you could possibly be doing so you don't get in trouble.
There won't be any activities. Thank you.
So if we start going now, you're definitely not having any fun.
No, Steve, it's all about expectations, man.
Low expectations, and then when you get them, it feels great.
Right, like I'm definitely not going into it thinking like, yeah, as soon as we get home, kids
glass half empty, always.
Yeah. So, and then I'll be on vacation in a couple weeks. So it's our 10-year anniversary, and we're having our vows renewed.
Oh, nice.
On the beach in Cape May. That's July 12th. And then we're going from there to Ocean City for a week. So, yeah. So I'll look forward to that. All right. Well, listen, everybody have a great weekend. And people were asking about Herb. Herb still won't text me back. Herb is in his feelings.
Ooh, you're getting boycotted by Herb?
I misplayed my hand, man. I gotta give him a little bit more. I do. I gotta
give him some love.
I gotta take the phone call.
You might have to go meet up with him at the LA Fitness in Collegeville.
Yeah, that's right. He wanted to go to the LA Fitness in Collegeville and come over afterwards.
Maybe you could just meet him for a sauna.
Oh yeah, just what I would want. Herb and a towel in the sauna. You know he's a sauna guy too.
Oh, he's 1,000% a sauna guy. I would bet my life on that. You think he's going to LA Fitness to actually do anything?
No, he's doing the leg press and watching head on a swivel, watching all the girls go by and shit. I know what he's doing. He's not doing anything. Herb's not in good shape, man. I don't know if you've ever seen him.
He's just A shape.
Good line, man. Yeah, a little bit of a pear shape. We love Herb. All right, everybody. Talk to you next week. Have a great, safe weekend.
Stay cool.